Hey, this is Derica Fomasili, and welcome to the Happiness Recipe Summit, where top experts are revealing their secret ingredients so you can create your own recipe for happiness. And today's vital ingredient is releasing insecurities. Moment of silence. Releasing insecurities. I know you all are feeling that right now. That is something that steals our happiness almost on a daily. It could come in out of nowhere and just rip our happiness right from under us. So I'm super excited to speak with our guest expert today, who is the master at releasing those insecurities so we can embody our happiness and who we are and who we're meant to be. Julie Hamilton, thank you for being here. Woo! Yes, I'm going to
And
go right
so,
on in.
hi, I'm so happy to be
Yes.
here. And thank you, everyone who's watching. It's so good to be here.
Absolutely. Julie Jones Hamilton is a best-selling author and brings over 30 years of experience in the human potential and personal development industry. As a former president and board member for over 25 years in a long-term treatment facility for women, Julie has supported thousands of women and families in personal transformation. She is the founder of Julie Jones Hamilton International Consulting and the co-founder of Kitchen Hamilton Productions, which develops international positive media programming. Yes, and the national cable television series World's Greatest Motivators.
Yeah.
Woo! Welcome, Julie.
Oh, yay. Thank you. I'm so
Absolutely.
happy to be here.
Such an honor to have her here. I want to jump right in and just, can you share a little bit more of your story, who you are, and how you became this transformational author and speaker?
Well, thank you. So I'll just jump right into the gritty, the real good stuff.
Yeah.
I was raised in Southern California, and um, I had a fairly fine childhood. And then, although there was one thing that I always noticed was that I always wanted to be grown up. I just wanted to be grown up and do grown up early. So my journey took me through drugs and alcohol at a very early age. I ended up in treatment myself when I was 25 and a divorced mother of two. And I learned some principles and also had to go deeper in to find something greater than myself because I was such a people pleaser and an approval seeker. And I had a lot of issues with security. I was very insecure, even though I was outgoing. So, in my own recovery process, I was able to transform that part of me and then serve others that help to help them transform that part of them. It's been a near and dear to my heart effort. I was on the board for several years. And then when the children grew up and I was an empty nester, I went into deeper dives and training. Now, all along, I had been going on retreats and kind of opened up that I see that we have an invisible side of our nature and a human side of our nature. And my job is to blend the two and come from my highest, best self. So I was very fascinated in ancient religions, comparative religions, into all that invisible side, the spiritual side. And I really enjoyed it and do enjoy all of it. I've been in several churches and have been members of several. And so always have been a spiritual by nature. So when the kids were grown and everyone was, I kind of was at a crossroads. I had been on the board 25 years. And I noticed that I had this gift to be able to listen and see things that I could reflect back to other people. And that's when I decided to maybe be trained in the coaching. And so I went through training, I went through practicing, I went through on many different levels with many different mentors. And once I started, it was just a continuum for the last 15 years. So then we formed a couple of companies. I did with some other women, the Four Dames, and we had women empowerment, and we wrote a book together. And then Lynn Kitchen and I developed a positive media company, a production company. And along the way, I met such amazing people. And so there was an opportunity that I was able to up level even bigger. And that was when uh, my beloved, I've been married over 32 years, and he became really ill. And I realized that I had put my attachment on him, and the thought of losing him gave me unsettled ground. So I took an even deeper dive. And that's when I really was able to expand and connect into that higher side of me, where I could be reliant and dependent on. And that's basically, it's more of that journey that I support others in connecting with themselves in my international coaching. And I have other groups of collective coaching that I do.
Wow, that is incredible. I love how you walked us through your beautiful journey, starting even from childhood. And as you were even there, I'm sure a lot of us are going, yeah, like I remember being a kid just wanting to be grown, right? I'm like, okay, like done. I was always trying to do
Oh,
things, right? On my
oh.
own. Like
It was,
way too
you know,
early.
the school thing, no, I wanted to be in business. I opened a business when I was 19. I mean, I just wanted to be out and living life.
Yes, yes. And along that way, it gets us into some trouble.
You
You know?
think? Right? Yeah, it did. It did. For me, it did. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
That is so, thank you. Thank you for bringing all of your wisdom to the table and now sharing that with us because we need it. I mean, there's so many people I just think when I hear the word insecurities, it stops us from our dreams, from our goals, from
Hmm.
growing, right?
Hmm.
And that all of that is our happiness. And we're so insecure about these things we're going to dive into today. It
Hmm.
it just it stops us.
It's one
It
of my
stops
favorite
us.
topics, by the way, because I came up against so many roadblocks because of my insecurities
Oh, let's
and
get
had to
into
figure it out.
those.
Just had to
Let's,
figure those out.
yeah. I mean, let's get into what have you found in your coaching and your speaking and what folks are coming to you for? What are the most like
Mm.
common insecurities that you're seeing come up?
Well, it's interesting because I do believe that many of us, we have this tendency to believe that we are fundamentally flawed, that there's something wrong with us. And it could come at a very early age from some very well meaning parents or teachers or caregivers or, friends. Family members that say, "Don't do that. Don't act that way. Don't be like that." Things that give us the impression that there's something wrong with us. And so we begin to like modify our behavior almost to a place, and this was with my example, that we would um, be a people pleaser because if I please them, then they'd like me, even if I didn't, even if it wasn't authentic or it wasn't the real me, in order to get my way or for me to feel like I was okay.
Right.
And that, so many of us have that. It's a common misconception based on a flawed premise that there's something wrong with us. Now, this is also an old model of teaching. There are new models that are here now that are prevalent and are very life giving that I believe we are evolving toward. And, so that was the main thing that most people, they've even been either been told that the way they are isn't acceptable, what they believe in isn't right, who they're being is not who they're supposed to be. So we kind of all get into this little kind of acceptable pattern kind of thing that, and become someone different outside of ourselves. And that's when we begin to suffer internally and externally.
Yes.
That's when we're not allowing the flow of who we really are. and to own who we really are and to love who we really are. That's when we get into meltdowns. That's when we get into the systems begin to, it's either expanding or it's detracting. And that's when things get bottled up. The flow, the natural flow of who we are is being bottled up and kinked up in our system, in our mind. We become angry, discontent, locked in a prison and within ourselves. I mean, it's very serious. It's a serious, and more of us are realizing,
Yes.
kind of peeping out to be who we are. And
We're
my dream is when I had my two girls, I recognized these patterns. I was in a long-term treatment. I had been arrested. I did have an addiction. I was divorced. I had all these horrible things and had gone through bankruptcy. I had done all those things. And then as I matured and grew into who I would love to be and gave myself permission to be me, I made it a point to continually own my power so I could be an example for them, for my girls, so they wouldn't have to go through that.
Yes.
And that's kind of how it works, right? The belief systems we hold are passed down through generations. There's something my mother taught me, or my parents taught me, that their parents taught them, that their parents taught them. And our belief system could go back 7 or 8 generations. Well, that is, a couple of it could be, 100 years or more. And we're in the 21st century. And when we give ourselves permission to shine the light on our beliefs, to own who we are, the mistakes we've made, the story, where we've been, what's happened, who we'd love to be, do have, and given the world, when we give ourselves permission to do that, then we begin to examine some of these insecurities. Are they real? Is it true? And before I get into solution,
Yes.
I just wanted to say, this is all an inside job. We can't expect our conditions and everything that's going on outside of us to make this inside happy. Happiness is a choice. We get to make up our minds to be happy. Yes. We have the power. It's not about out there. Why? Because out there is constantly changing. It's a number one universal absolute. Everything changes. Yes. And then the second absolute is that you and I and everyone who's watching, we have 100% dominion over the thoughts we choose to think. Not overthinking, because it's 70,000 thoughts. That's consciousness. It's always going on. But we can choose. We can choose the thoughts that we focus on. And those thoughts are a result of the actions we take, the things we, so if we think, that saying from Henry Ford, if you think you can or you think you can't.
Either way, you're right.
You're right. So we have so much more power. We have so much more. We are so much more than just this, and a personality and a body.
I know you guys are feeling it right now. Because when you hit it with generational, to me, like inherited, and I remember at one point turning around, looking even at my marriage, and realizing not a single woman that I knew in my line was ever married successfully. It was just marriage or divorce, or never married at all. And I was thinking, how do I even know how to do this? Or like, am I, and I would be thinking like, oh, we're just products of our downline, right? We're really that. And I remember early in my marriage, even, and everyone before my soulmate now, is I thought I wasn't marriage material. I thought I wasn't good enough.
Something's wrong with me.
Something's wrong with me. And that was
flawed.
Not mine. Like you said, it is not yours, right? This was something we inherited, and now we have that program. But if we're looking, just like Julie's saying, if we're looking now, we're analyzing these icky insecurities that are coming out. They're not even yours. They're not yours to hold on to.
Now we call that the voices in your head. We call it the committee. They've been placed there from really other people's voices that we've just assimilated and we let them be our guideposts. And the cool thing about this is we don't have to like dissect and go down. And when I, get on the couch and talk about when I was 3, 4, 5, 6, all we have to do is shift our thinking to what would I prefer? What would I prefer? What would I prefer to think in this moment when yogurt's hitting the fan? What would I prefer to think about during all this chaos? What would I prefer to think? Because whatever we think results in an emotion. Thoughts, everything is energy. Thoughts, everything is energy. We're all energy. The chair you're in, the computer, everything we're doing is energy. First it was a thought, then it was a thing in the mind of somebody. So everything's thought twice. First it comes down from thinking in this consciousness, and then it becomes a reality, my chair and the pictures and the plant and whatever. So everything's energy. Knowing that, thoughts are energy too, and they're everywhere, and we're swimming in consciousness. So emotion is only motion, energy in motion, and it's derivative from a thought. So whatever thought I'm thinking, if it's good or bad, it's going to result. I can think of a funny thing that happened that may have happened 2 years ago. And all of a sudden my cheeks will start to smile and I'll laugh, and it fuels my system. Now in Cambodia, there's a thing where the Cambodians, as a practice, a daily practice, they give themselves a big belly laugh. They laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh because they know that it awakens their cells and it heals and flushes through. In fact, when I had the privilege to go on a temple retreat in Cambodia, to Angkor Wat. And while I was there, all of the statues, all of them, ancient, from way back, they all had smiley faces. That's happiness. So one of my biggest things that I love to share is life is supposed to feel good. It's supposed to. It's our nature to be in joy. It's our nature to be in happiness. But through our insecurities, we've been talked out of it. So if life is supposed to feel good, then we're meant to be happy and we're meant to satisfy our dreams. Yes. And that's my rule of thumb. Life's supposed to be happy. And then I have, some ways we work to get there. Because we have to, these beliefs, these thoughts that we have, that we all have, well, they're a pattern. So we need to use a replacement thought when we interrupt the pattern.
I was just going to ask you, how do we go about that? And you're moving right into that technique because we're born to be happy. We didn't come here to struggle. We know this. We're born to be happy, but these darn little insecurities and little programs are coming up that aren't ours, came from wherever, right? These experiences. Now they're here. Go right into that technique for me of how we can take that insecurity and transform it back into our true self.
Well, first of all, we notice how we're feeling. We notice our thoughts. We notice. That's the number one of the 11 laws that Raymond Holliwell gives, or that Bob Proctor gives, or that Mary Morrissey gives, or Reverend Michael Beckwith. Anyone who has retaught the 11 universal laws. I call them 12, but the 11 universal laws. The first one is thinking. Notice your thoughts. Notice your thinking. What are you focusing on? Do you let them go or do you let them nag on you? So notice your thinking. The thoughts that you think on carry an energy frequency. So if I think on that for past 17 or so seconds, it's going to attract other thoughts like that of energy. So if I'm thinking about, boy, that person really did me wrong. Did you see the way they looked at me? Did you see the way they talked to me? I mean, I didn't do anything. I was just standing there. Can you believe that person did that? And then the more I'm thinking about that or even talking about it, then something comes up, and remember all the times these people have done that. Remember, it starts collecting evidence from my past to reflect back. Yeah, people are just out to get me. It just starts I call it thought trains. So I do a lot of work with affirmations. We should all. And I also do a lot of work with truth, and that's another thing that we're going to come into. I'm going to teach right now or share with you right now. When we notice what we're noticing and it doesn't feel good, there's two things we can do. Number one, we can use a replacement thought as, yeah, that is not my preference, what's going on over there. However, maybe it's that person's journey. Maybe there's more to it that I don't understand. Maybe that person's having a hard day. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I know I've had some hard days and people were kind to me. I think I'm going to be kinder. And you go up the ladder of it's called possibility thinking. You go up the ladder of maybe it's possible that there's something better, really. I'm just getting the wrong perspective. Okay? So a replacement thought would be, well, God bless that person. I'm praying that they'll be okay. Instead of, golly, did you see the way that came down? you know,
Yes.
you know, and so now that's going to bring me to the next thing that's very important. There's three things that you want to write this down, everybody.
I know. That's why I said grab your pen and
Grab your
paper, you
pen.
guys.
Okay, you're gonna want to write this down. It's
Oh,
one, it's
one
one of the
second,
most
Julie.
profound things. Yes, ma'am.
1 second. In that first one, in that notice, because I want people to hook onto this.
Mm-hmm.
They're noticing, maybe they're saying, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I don't like myself, you know, whatever, I'm not smart enough, not good enough. That's the one that you're talking about. We hook onto that insecurity thought, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, and then we replace it with, give me some
Good.
examples.
All right, here's what we're going to replace this with. Number one, hear this, really, really hear this. You are your ultimate authority. If you say you're ugly, you're going to feel ugly. If you say that you're not good enough, you're going to feel not good enough. Remember, I talked about the thoughts and then the feelings? All right, so we want to be aware of that. And here's the truth. The truth is, not only you are your highest authority, but there's a part of you that is totally complete and perfect, and that is meant to be here on purpose, that has your likes, your preferences, your belief system, your experiences, your gifts and talents, that in the tapestry of the universe, okay, in the tapestry of the universe, there would be forever, since the beginning of humanity till the end of humanity, for infinite, there would be a void without your thread in it. That's how important you are, that you're here right now. And guess what? It's an equal playing field. Nobody has more or less air or life to breathe than I do and you do. It's totally the same everywhere. I don't care how much money they have. I don't care how poor they are. It doesn't matter. We all have the same life, and we all are made of the same life stuff. It's equal. It's equal everywhere. We're the ones who get to recognize and call it out what we prefer. We're the ones who get to be our ultimate authority. We're the ones who get to say, you know what? It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. The only thing that matters, and hear this, it's not your business what people think of you. It's not your business. Your business is what you think about yourself. So that being said, there are wonderful gifts and talents that we possess, that we know we have. There are things about us that we love. And by the way, comparison is a fool's game, because no two people are made the same. You are as unique as your thumbprint, and so am I. And you have the stamp of approval. Why? Because you're breathing. Because you're breathing. You don't need any other excuse except you're breathing. So you get to have life the way, you get to be you in all your glory, and we get to love you or not. And those that are not, hey, have you noticed how many people are around? They're everywhere. They're everywhere. If you be you, you will attract others that are on the same vibration. But it starts inside. If I want to be loved, I start loving. I start loving me, and I start loving you, and I start loving this abundant universe, and I start loving things. If I want respect, I start respecting me, It's not out there. You're not going to get anything from out there. It is attracted to who you're being. So if you want respect, be respectful. If you want love, be more loving. If you want peace, be calm, enjoy life, be happy. You're made with everything. You're complete, you're whole, you're perfectly you. Nobody can do you, nor will they ever do you. So all this stuff about having to be this certain kind and wear this and do that, hey, wear what you want, do what you want. Just do what you want, be you. Please give us the privilege and the honor of knowing who you are. We might learn stuff. That's why we're here, to learn from each other, because your perspective is yours. We all have our own. And sometimes somebody learns from my perspective, and as they're sharing with me, oh my gosh, it just opened me right up to a whole new perspective. So it's your responsibility to be you. It's your ability to respond to life. The ability to respond to life is your responsibility. And we need you. We need you in all your gifts and talents. And we don't focus on, we're all human, we're all learning, we all make mistakes. So what? I've been divorced, I've been in prison, I've been, institutionalized, I've been in rehab, addicted, blah, blah, divorced. Come on.
You're so real. I am loving this so much. Because it's real. Like, all of this was to hit home. Guys, seriously, when those Goliaths come in, those insecurities, it's like, you're incomparable. Like, that's what that replacement thought is, right?
Don't compare with anything.
You're incomparable.
You know what? Turn back to what you love. Anything that you don't like, what would you love instead? That is your go-to underlined sentence. Write that down, circle it, keep it on a card, carry it in your pocket, remind yourself, what would you love? What would you love? And think on those things, because in the universe, all of providence shows up to support you. It starts showing you, when you're thinking about that, then your attention is on those things. And you begin to think, well, I'd really love to, have a really clean closet. Okay, well, maybe tomorrow I'll spend some time straightening my shoes, and then my closet, and then my stuff, and then my closet's clean. Yay. Maybe I would love to go visit my girlfriend. Maybe I would love to go out to dinner. Maybe I would love to create some global network positive media around the world so that everybody can, we can all have access to good feeling thoughts and ways to get there. The funny thing is, inside you, this. I'm not teaching anything. That you are here on purpose. You are meant to be here, and you are meant to be happy. So take a deep breath and tell yourself, I'm here on purpose and I'm meant to be happy, and remind yourself. Now it took me a long time, when I started, and it doesn't have to take you a long time, but how you do it is every day. Every day. I do mine in the morning, and then I have that mantra or that affirmation or that reminder as a replacement thought, so that throughout the day, because thug thoughts I call them thug thoughts. They're everywhere. They usually come at night when I'm about to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden knock on the door. They come in. No, don't come in. No, we're coming in. And they all come in, and they bring their friends, and they all night long, and I'm up all night, and I'm worrying about all this and all that, and there's a party going on, and by the time I wake up, I'm hungover, my house and my head's a mess. I got to sweep it all out. I say, next time, by gosh, I'm not going to think. Let those thug thoughts. So they'll knock on the door, and I won't answer now. I'll just sing or pray or do whatever, read beautiful thing and fall asleep, pray for a good night's sleep, and pray for you and everyone else, and just fall asleep. And then, if I think they're knocking, I look out, I don't open the door, but I look out my window and I don't answer it. Don't answer it. And then I look out the window, and they're down the road knocking on someone else's door, and they can stay up all night with them, because I don't want thug thoughts. Not anymore.
I love it so much.
I'm not going down there anymore, So fortify yourself. You got to do these things, You got to prepare, or else we just life. Okay, now I hope I'm not taking up too much time.
No, this is good, because we're rolling right into the solutions of this. Okay. So
Here's
So
the
I
solutions.
feel
Yeah, go
these
ahead.
are, these are all of it. I feel that the rewiring is happening for everyone, myself
Mm,
included. We're sitting here and we're just absorbing the true nature of who we are. You're right. We know this. This is something that's innate. It's a small voice sometimes, but as you're speaking, I can feel that resonance growing, and it's like a remembrance, right? And I hope you're watching right now and you're remembering your power and how you're unique and brilliant and one of a kind, incomparable, top chef. Like you are this, right? And so when that thought thug comes in, and I'm gonna steal that one, Julie, because that is
oh,
so
it's so
amazing.
good. Use that. I should write a book on the thought thugs, the family of thought thugs, because they bring
We
in their
all have
cousins
them.
and everybody. Oh my God.
We all got these thought thugs. We're this, we're not this. We need to
Yeah,
do this.
stay
Blah,
out of
blah,
those
blah.
alleys. You'll get mugged with those thought thugs.
You just
Those
let them
thought
know you
alleys.
don't open the door. Don't open the door.
Mm-mm.
And, and so some of these solutions things is that you don't open the door. You have the replacement thought. You notice it and then you replace it, right? You're saying these mantras, affirmations. I would love for you to share with us one or some that you
I will.
have
Yeah, I
that
will.
works for you and your clients.
When we're talking about this, and yes, it would be my pleasure. When we're talking about, um, how we position ourselves, because it is a practice. It's a practice. It's a vigilance, because we have patterns, and these patterns are running our life. They run the background of our life. And when we're not paying attention, we go to that default position, and we're easily angered, we're easily irritated, doubtful, fearful, all these things, because we're allowing life to happen at us. All the conditions, all the circumstances and situations outside of us are happening at us, and we become victimized, and that's a very low amperage, and it has no power. So when you realize, and this is an understanding, when you realize that life, it's an equal playing field. No one has more or less air to breathe. It's called life. It's equally everywhere distributed. And when we realize that life is happening through us, then we feel, hey, it's happening through me. It's happening through them. I'm aware of that. That's a turn on the spiral of awareness. Then when we realize that it's happening by me, that I can literally allow life to happen and focus on the things that I love, and focus. I don't have, I can shift my perspective. I can shift my thoughts. And here's another thing. When the negative thought or the disempowered thought comes, the more we think on it, the bigger it grows. So what would you love? What would you prefer? Write that down. What would you prefer instead of that, whatever's going on? What would you prefer instead of that negative? And the minute you put your focus over to on the things that you would prefer, that negative dissolves from lack of attention. It just dissolves. It's no longer there. Why? Remember the one absolute, because everything's changing. It just changes. If you put a pause button, and here's some of these tools, and then we'll go into the affirmation. If something is really bugging you and it's got to be settled and you don't know how to do it and it's just got you, push the pause button and say, you know what? I'm going to come back to this, make a date with it. I'll come back to this in 2 days. Just, this is too hairy for me right now. It's too much for me. I don't want to go half cocked. I really want to, no, I'm just and 2 days from now, it's gone. You're on to all other different kinds of life. Life is 48 hours has gone by and all kinds of stuff has happened. Push the pause button on those before you go out and open up your mouth and put your foot in your mouth, or before you hurt somebody, or before you, throw something at somebody. Pause and say, I'm going to come back to this. And then remove yourself. But a great affirmation, and this is my favorite, and then I'm going to get into three things, solutions. My favorite affirmation is, I am a divine, holy daughter of the Most High. I am infused by an invisible side of my nature that is greater and bigger than anything my human mind can even conceptualize. That this energy force field that is controlling this entire gig we're on, this world, this earth, this whatever universe, I'm connected to it. It's called life, and I'm in it. I'm part of it. So what that tells me is that we are top of the food chain, folks. I mean, you don't see a cow leaning over a fence saying, boy, I wish I could be a horse and run through that pasture. We get to be who we love, who we want, who we get to have and do and share whatever we focus on, whatever we put our mind to. We're self-generated, we can self-actualize, we can realize, we can reason. This is our gift. And our number one gift is the imagination. So if you don't like what's going on, imagine a better one. If you don't like your story, drop it, dump it, and make a better one. Create a brand new one on you, on what you like to do, how you like to show up, what you like your best friends, what you like doing and hanging out and giving to your best friends, what you would like to create and make, just you, Matt, it's you. And so much, so here's the three words to be aware of. Non-attached. Don't be attached to what people are doing. Don't be attached to how you think things should be. Don't be attached to it's got to be this way or no way. I'm right, you're wrong. Don't be attached to anything. Everything's changing. Non-attachment. I just allow things to happen, okay? Because this energy connection that's got this world has been doing this a long time, and chances are it's going to keep on doing it. So don't be attached. The second one is non-judgmental. And that's my biggest one, because I'm a people pleaser and I'm an approval seeker, or an recovered. I'm a recovered people pleaser. Recovered insecurities. And I still work on them. We all have them. I'm human. We all are. Non-judgment means it gives me the freedom to allow people just to be who they are. I don't have to judge it. I don't have to worry about it. Just let it be, whatever. Just don't judge it. Maybe there's a reason I know not. Maybe something's coming down the pike that's wonders that I really don't know yet. I like to think that everything is set up for my good. Everything is set up for my success. Everything is, all of Providence, the whole world is like, go, Julie, go. Go, Julie, go. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. We have a whole cheerleading squad. We have legions of angels surrounding each and every one of us. There are angels, and my mentor, Mary Morrissey, uses this. There are angels literally above every single blade of grass saying, grow, grow, grow. It's everywhere. The invisible realm is safe, and that's who we are. Non-judgmental. The last one is non-resistance. Don't resist change. Don't resist things that I wish it wasn't be that way, and then we hold on to it, and we have all this, energy that keeps us stuck, keeps us. Yeah, but I want this to be this. It's not like this anymore. I want it to be like this. And our systems break down. It's like putting a ratchet into a spoke. It just resists it. It's going to fall apart. So don't resist it. Just go with the flow. Without judging, without being attached, knowing that what if it all works out? What if everything you've ever wanted works out? What if life just works out? And then one last thing.
Okay.
When you look back over your life, all of us, every single one of us, you look back at the journey during the most difficult and horrific times. And I shared with you, I had a bunch of them. Do you know what? I made it through. Now, I can't really tell you how I made it through, but I made it through, and so did you, because we're here right now. We're here right now. Somehow, we made it through. So give yourself a break. You can do this. You can do this thing called life, and you can do it well, because you're totally equipped, and there is no other you. And you do yourself, you do it your way. And that's okay. It's awesome, as a matter of fact.
It's perfect. It's
Mm.
perfect. We're all these perfect little creative
Yeah,
varieties of these magical beings walking around. There's
that's right.
no one else like you. And these are the words and the energy that I want you all to feel that Julie is speaking through us every single time one of those darn inherited programs come in. And they'll come
Hmm.
less, right? They do come less as you're
Hmm.
doing this notice work and
Hmm.
replacement work and
Hmm.
empowerment work. The insecurity like thought thugs will come less knocking at your door, but when they do, say this, remind yourself you're incomparable, unstoppable, unlike anyone else. Like you're
You're
your
wholly
own
divine.
divineness.
You are the kingdom of your world. You're the queen and king of your own life. You sit
And
on
it
the
may
throne.
sound fake in the beginning, you guys. I remember many moons ago as I would say, "Oh, you're beautiful or you're smart." And I would go, "Yeah, right." But
Hmm.
the more that you keep doing that, you break through that,
It's
right?
a
So fake it
training.
till you make it.
You must train a new pattern. You must train it. If you go down to the beach and there's a bunch of seagrass and you're going to take that pattern and keep going, and if you want to make a new one because you haven't seen what's going on over there, it takes a while. You got to keep back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You know, please
You'll
don't
get it.
give up. Don't give up on you. uh, Find affirmations, Google them. Do daily affirmations every day. Read something that empowers you in the morning, that makes you feel empowered. I invested a ton of time reading, because I have to untangle, all of these old, years and centuries of behavioral patterns in our DNA. But the cool thing is we have perfect, absolute, complete, perfect spiritual DNA, and that can override all the human DNA. Remember, we're so much more. We're so much more. We have the invisible side of our nature and the human side of our nature. So, it seems, hocus pocus, and it is. It's magic, and it works. And all the great masters, all the great sages and philosophers and personal development leaders, and even CEOs and, success. These are success principles.
Yes,
It works. You
it
get to
works.
believe. You get to become whoever you believe. So believe yourself who you want to be, and it
Yes.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All it matters is that life is supposed it's supposed to feel good. Do whatever it takes for you to feel good in life. That's legal. That feeds your soul,
Mm.
that feels good, whatever, because you're meant to be happy. We all are, and we're meant to satisfy our dreams. So whatever it is, do one thing a day that makes you happy, whatever it is. Laugh, call a friend, write a poem, sing a song, you know,
Do a little dance.
do a little dance, make love tonight. Tonight. Do whatever it is,
Yes.
you know. It's so beautiful.
Thank you so much, Julie. This was power packed with nuggets of gold. I hope you
Uh,
guys had your pen and your paper. If not, replay, grab it again,
yeah.
do it again. This was amazing. I can feel the rewiring of all those darn inherited programs.
All of molecules, we get to blossom and grow and be who we claim.
Yes,
That's our prerogative.
transforming.
We get to
Instant
transform.
miracles. Thank you so much, Julie. I feel the confidence and security just vibrating, raising high for everyone watching and the planet
Yeah.
alike. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your
Remember
story.
your thread, how important your thread is. We need you. We need you. You've got your own gifts and talents. I don't have them all. Erica doesn't have them all. We need each other. We're meant to be together to share this. Don't worry. Well, you'll by being you, you'll attract awesome people that you'll love to be with. You know, by
Yes.
releasing insecurities and say, wait, that doesn't feel good. I need a replacement thought. That doesn't feel good.
That's it right there, you guys. That's it's baby steps, but they're powerful. All this is truthful. It is magic. You're magic. Just accept it. Comment on this email, you guys. Like,
Mm.
what was your transformation? What did you get out of this? How do you feel now watching this? We would absolutely love to hear, and I'll get those to Julie. Send us your thoughts. We want to know what just happened for you, what light bulbs went off. Thank you so much, Julie, for being here and sharing your time and energy with us. Thank you so much.
This is my pleasure. Now, I have one more thing I'd like to give.
Yes, let's talk about
As
that free
being,
gift.
yes, as being a curator. Well, I'm so blessed and privileged that my partner and I were able to produce this. And these fabulous thought leaders, they all have gifts from Bob Proctor, from Les Brown, from Brian Tracy, from John Azaraf, from Sharon Lecter, and Shanda Sumpner, and Blaine Bartlett, Reverend Michael Beckwith, all of them, David Meltzer, all of them have given gifts. So if you go to worldsgreatestmotivators.com and go to free gifts, there's a tab up on the front, up above, free gifts, and you push that and go ahead and pick out whichever one you have, whichever one you want to receive the gifts from. There's 14 of them. We have a great youth motivator named named Spar Shaw. He was fabulous. He's got such a story. And as you go through here and you push the button and you receive the gift, I do want to say that they're updating. So some may show error, but you can come back again because they're always updating and bringing in their free gifts or events or things that they're giving away. So they're very generous. They're the foundational pieces that help you and being aware of your thinking and how to transform your life using a lot of the techniques that we spoke of today. So, yeah, you'll love them. They're so great.
Thank you. So this interview was so fabulous and so transforming that I forgot about the free gift, how powerful it was. But you guys, it's like, wait, there's more. Like,
Wait,
here
there's
it is.
more. Isn't that
And
funny?
in this email body, you're going to see that link. I'll make sure that link goes right to the freebies there so you can pick out the ones that resonate with you and just absorb more transformation. Because you know what?
Oh,
We're never done,
we're
right?
never
Our
done.
happiness just keeps on
It
growing.
sure does. The
Yes.
pull of life is for more blossom, more expansion. Hey, listen, go on, get on I think it's YouTube, and go to Sly and the Family Stone. And they're an old 70s. I'm kind of dating myself, but there's one song that I really love. It's called Everybody is a Star. Everybody is a star. Oh my gosh. That's a good one to play and ramp it up, turn it full blast.
That's going to be my theme song.
There you go. It is so good. I love it.
Oh, love it.
All
The goal
right.
just doesn't stop. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Derica. Thank you so much. And blessings on this entire summit and everyone who's watching and everyone who's on it. It's a privilege to be with you. So grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you love this powerhouse and this beautiful ingredients to this amazing happiness recipe, keep an eye out for the next vital ingredients. You guys keep smiling and have a beautiful day. Bye bye.